So here we are at the house of a mainland client, and we're going to do a septic inspection. My name's Scott, and this is our certified septic inspector, Joel Doyon. So the client has kindly dug up the septic tank, so here we go.
So first thing that we do after the tank is excavated is we take a look at the physical structure of the tank. And if you look down here in the hole, we have a large crack here at the corner of the inlet cover opening and a smaller crack on this side here. Those two look okay. Typically these cracks are caused by water from snowmelt or rainwater getting in between the cover and the opening of the tank, freezing and expanding, and that's what will crack the top of the tank. So what we're going to do first is open the inlet end of the tank, and we're going to look at the inlet baffle to make sure that's in place, which it is. Check how far down the crack here in the tank goes, and it looks like it goes most of the way through the top of the tank, so that is definitely an area of concern.
What's the inlet baffle doing?
The inlet baffle, it collects all the solids in one area and gives them time to separate, so the heavies will sink down below the baffle and then out into the main chamber of the tank. So this is our sludge judge. It's essentially a tube with a one-way valve on the end of it. So we'll stick this down in through the scum layers on the top and the bottom of the tank and check to see what the level of thickness is in the tank. And what we're looking for is nothing more than a 30% ratio of solids to liquids. And looking at here, the solids level stops about here. And I would say that, and there's probably a 6 to 8 inch cake on top, and that is definitely over 30%. So this tank is ready to be pumped. So if you had a 1,000-gallon tank with 2 people living on it, you could probably go 5 to 6 years in between pumpings. The industry standard is what they call the rule of 7, where you take the number 7, subtract the number of people living in the house, and the number you have left over is how many years you go in between tank pumpings. All right, so on this tank in particular, it has a concrete riser for the center cover, and unfortunately in this case the handles are missing, so we're going to have to use the shovel to pop the cover off. Round covers are great because they can't fall through their own hole. So looking in the center cover, you can see that the solids level is fairly thick in the middle. Definitely due to be pumped, but the riser is watertight and it is to code. The recommendation would be to either add handles to the existing cover or to purchase a new cover with handles in it. So the outlet end is one of the most crucial ends of the septic tank, because under this cover is the outlet baffle. And the outlet baffle is what separates the solids from the liquid. It keeps the solids in the tank and allows just the liquid to flow out into the leach field. Some of the older tanks, you'll find that the outlet baffle has fallen off of, and in that case, then you have an open door for the solids to go out into the leach field and plug it up. And then on the newer tanks, you'll have an outlet filter, which is just a plastic screen that you'll have to take out and clean every year. Looking at the top of this tank, it has a significant crack right here next to the cover. And looking at the outlet end wall right here, the wall has been pushed 2 inches away from the edge of the cover. So there's been some expansion within the concrete here. And going by state inspection standards, this tank is not structurally sound and should be replaced. So we'll open the cover and check the baffle. So the original concrete outlet baffle has rotted, as you can see here, and it's been replaced with a replacement PVC baffle made out of a PVC tee and some pipe. And also you can see on the outlet wall of the tank, it's starting to crumble and slightly cave in. So again, this tank should definitely be replaced. So this is our sewer camera. We are able to capture images and video with this. It's about 100 feet long, and we feed it through the pipe to see what the condition is. And also we have this locator here. This locator will find where the camera is underground, and it will also tell us what direction the pipe is running in and how deep it is. So we'll be able to pinpoint exactly where things are and how deep we need to dig to find it. So as we travel down the pipe, we're checking the pipe condition and checking for buildup of solids. There's another pipe connection there. They all look good. No roots growing in. So now that our camera is in the distribution box, we can turn our locator on and figure out where the camera is. So our first point is here. And then our second point is here. And we'll trace it back to our strongest signal. So from here, we can tell that the top of the distribution box is about 1 foot 8 inch below the surface. And then we'll take the probe and verify that this is where the distribution box is. So now we'll excavate the distribution box and see what the insides of that look like. So what we've got here is, instead of a distribution box, there's one line coming in from the tank, and it tees into the first row of perforated pipe in the field. And the most important thing is now that we've exposed the pipe, we can excavate down here through the crushed rock, and we can see that there's no pooling of liquid inside the crushed rock. It's not stained black. It's nice and clean, as it should be, because it has this layer of fabric over the top of it. Older systems will have 2 inches of compressed hay, which was good enough in the 80s when that was adopted, but by today's standards, the fabric works much better at separating the dirt from the stone. Okay, so what we ended up finding here is that there is not a distribution box in this field. So there's one line that comes down from the tank straight into the first row of perforated pipe, which runs this direction. So what we were able to do was send the camera down and fish it around the corner and send it out through the field lateral to check the condition of the field. And the condition of the field is pretty good. There's some sludge buildup, but that's unsurprising with the age of the field and also how far the customer has gone in between pumpings. What we did discover was that the crushed rock inside the system is not stained black. It's not holding water. It's doing what it's supposed to do, and it's got a pretty clean bill of health. For extra credit, they could have the field jet cleaned and have a distribution box installed. Not necessary in this case, but definitely also not discouraged.
Would be helpful.
Would be helpful for performance factor. But with this field being in its 30s, it's lived a good life. When you get to that age, it's kind of like with your body. The older you get, the more you need to go to the doctor. So the older this gets, the more you should pump the tank out. Because every time you pump out the tank, you reduce the number of solids that are able to sneak past the outlet baffle and get into the field and gum it up. So suggestions for this inspection is to replace the tank and replace the pipe from the tank to the leach field because of the number of bows in it. And once that's done, it should get a clean bill of health.